Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So the crypto market here settling down on this fine Saturday morning, 243.4 billion is the current market cap, and Bitcoin dominance sitting pretty at 66.1. Not too much movement in the space. We got Bitcoin trading at 88.71, Ethereum 169, and XRP 0.236. Okay, not too much in terms of gains and or losses with regards to most of the space. We've seen a steady increase, and we have been over the last several days. So this is XRP on the daily, guys, and you can see that trend continuing upward. Compare it to Bitcoin, doing the same kind of thing, right? Trend is moving upward, right? This is a day-to-day event. We haven't seen much to suggest that we're going to turn bearish anytime soon, although that could change at any time. Let's go back to XRP on the daily for a second. So you can see here that since January 1st, so the beginning of the year up until now, XRP was trading at, so January 1st, we were sitting at about 2.192. Now we're trading at about 0.236. So XRP has actually gained 23% since January 1st, not too shabby. And that's just the beginning. So we're going to keep an eye on this. We will see if we can break this level of resistance here of about 314 cents. That'll be the next hurdle. The 30's in and around here. And then guys, finally, we got to make our way up to 50 cents and breach that before we really start to move. Guys, I saw this from Twitter. So this from @Leonidas Hadjilozu, at Leo Hadjilozu on Twitter. Event added on XRP Arcade. So this is the guy who runs XRP Arcade. Guys, if you're not following him on Twitter, I suggest you do so. David Schwartz, Ripple CTO, will deliver a keynote speech at the Developer Week in San Francisco on February 13th. Money moves. This is the title of the speech. Breaking barriers with blockchain and payment tech. So went to our XRP Arcade here, and essentially, he's all these people from Ripple, right? They go out, they talk, they communicate with others in the field, journalists, everybody, to promote cryptocurrency, what they're doing, because it's an emerging industry in a lot of ways. I mean, even though cryptocurrency's been around for 10 years, they still need to promote it, and they still need to kind of explain and educate people on the benefits of cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, so on and so forth. So the rise of blockchain and digital assets has the power to fundamentally improve this, but building with these nascent technologies is still challenging for the 23 million plus developers worldwide. So in this talk, David Schwartz of Ripple and co-creator of the XRP Ledger, one of the largest blockchains in the world, will be discussing how building with blockchain and digital assets can bring about the change today's fragmented payments infrastructure so desperately craves. So again, Blockchain Week in San Francisco, February 13th. I wonder how all these guys get these feeds of these events, or, how they're able to stream them, if they're all available online or not. Sometimes when you get to hear some of these really important people talk about something that they're really, really good at, you will find little nuggets. You'll hear little nuggets in their talks that you can build upon, that you can glean some information from. Reading between the lines, guys, that's sometimes even more interesting than actually listening to what they're saying. I mean, I'm sure a lot of this is going to be, the same kind of stuff that we've heard in a lot of ways, but it's those extra little tidbits that I keep my ears open for. Guys, I saw this from Twitter. Stephen Bull from the DEP, at DEPSound on Twitter, and he posted this. Okay, so digital assets like XRP will be supplemental to existing fiat currencies. This is a quote from Chris Larsen. The big four currencies, so the Japanese yen, the euro, the dollar, and the renminbi, will become stronger because of digital assets. So this is Chris Larsen from an interview with this guy here, Raphael Badziag, from thebilliondollarsecret.com. And so this is their YouTube video here. It's about 14 minutes long, an interview with Chris Larsen. And I love how his lower third says, American self-made billionaire Chris Larsen from Ripple. That's kind of funny. So I will link this whole interview in the description. I mean, it's only gotten 611 views right now. But Stephen Bull from the DEP posts this, and this is, I think, one of the most important quotes that Chris Larsen talks about. So, of course, Raphael's talking to him about cryptocurrencies, the future of, he wanted him to get into Bitcoin, obviously talks about Ripple and XRP, and Chris Larsen says that the big four, the yen, the euro, the dollar, and the renminbi, will become stronger because of digital assets. So he doesn't foresee a world where cryptocurrencies are necessarily going to replace fiat. Fiat is going to be around for a long time. As long as governments are around, fiat will be around. He says, but because of digital assets, since they will aid other countries do business with one another, that these big four are just going to get stronger because digital assets will allow for interoperability. And that's the key, right? We got to understand that countries tend I mean, one of the reasons countries tend to do business with other countries is for ease of transacting. Some of these countries have relationships because they've come to agreements as to how they will conduct business based on so many different factors. And I think that by using digital assets, that will remove a lot of these barriers. If you can do business with anybody instantly, doesn't matter what currency you're working in, all over the world, this will make these four economies stronger if they play their cards right. And I think that emerging economies will also get stronger, like Brazil's economy, for example, just to name one. So the big four will get stronger, and smaller currencies, Chris Larsen says, might even disappear. So, we have a world full of fiat currencies. And what would be the point for some of these smaller countries to hold on to their fiat currencies if the ease of use for using one of the big four or another country's currency would be easier for their people? Something to think about, right? When we have ease of use, more people on the planet transacting, right? It costs governments money to hold their own fiat. There are pros and cons to it. But again, one of Chris Larsen's predictions when this technology becomes more available to the world. And he talks about XRP, and he talks about how it will be useful in lubricating the world of finance. So again, using that cryptocurrency as that backbone asset, there will be a lot of demand for XRP, and therefore XRP will command whatever price it commands at that time, depending on its usage. He's not saying that those are my words, but he says XRP will be useful in lubricating the world. So using that cryptocurrency as that backbone asset. And he says a lot of these cryptocurrencies will have other use cases. So applications and devices will use these digital assets to function down the road. And we've heard Ripple talk about this. We've heard Ripple talk about how cross-border payments is their focus right now, but eventually they're looking to get into more verticals. So more use cases for XRP. Anyways, guys, I will leave this in the description, and I will also leave the YouTube video, the original video there if you want to watch the full article. Guys, I saw this from AMB Crypto. Ripple-backed XRPL Labs exec announces shutting down of XRParrot. Kind of sad news, but we know Vin is not deterred by this. We know he's already working in the XRP ecosystem, developing other interesting projects, and this had to shut down just because of the Netherlands and their rules, their laws right now, currently, that have to do with cryptocurrency. So here's a quote from Vin. As I tried to keep the fees to an absolute minimum, and I don't like overcharging, there's no way I can make XRParrot work in the new regulated playing field. I am pro-regulation, but the costs, registration, license, legal, operational, simply won't be covered. Okay, so the Netherlands have brought in new cryptocurrency regulations, and clearly, some of these smaller businesses just won't be able to adapt just because of the fees, right? When you're a small business, it's a lot harder to play the game if you don't have money in the coffers to fund your project. So it's a shame, but we know Vin still working in the XRP ecosystem. He's a great guy with interesting ideas. I'm always interested to see what his next project is. Guys, I saw this on Twitter from XRP Crypto Wolf. Ripple-backed crypto wallet Bird, BRD, ventures into enterprise blockchain market by aiming to serve big banks like JP Morgan, financial service institutions, consultancy firms, and others. So guys, I'm going to read you a little bit of this, and this to me is interesting. So BRD, Bird, a cryptocurrency wallet provider that is backed by Ripple and Japanese financial services giant SBI Holdings, has ventured into the enterprise blockchain market. The new venture, dubbed BlockSet, aims to serve banks, financial service institutions, and consultancy firms, among others, Bird announced Friday. BlockSet provides ready-to-use tools which help firms to build blockchain applications quickly and at a lower cost, per the announcement. So these guys are coming in and they're saying, we're going to give you guys an affordable, easy way to build blockchain for your company. So 10 of the top 15 companies that are hiring the most for blockchain projects are not crypto companies. They include companies such as Cisco, Verizon, JP Morgan Chase, just to name a few. That's the segment BlockSet wants to own. So think about it, guys. Back in the 90s and even in the early 2000s, if you wanted a web page, what you would do is you would go out, hire a freelance designer to design you, essentially build you a web page that you can have at your domain name. And they took care of that. And it usually cost quite a bit because that was a specialty that most people couldn't do. Well, then companies got smart and they decided, hey, let's just make this service very, very easy. Like Wix, for example. We'll make it drag and drop so that any person out there who wants a website can just easily do it with our interface. They charge a little bit less, or, they have a subscription fee. Some of these companies do. And now everybody can design a website on their own because of this back-end solution. Well, to me, this is what it sounds like these guys are doing. They're creating a solution to easily provide blockchain systems for some of these big hitting companies that need blockchain systems. And guys, the best part about this is that they are backed by Ripple and SBI Holdings, looking to continue to improve the XRP ecosystem. And so I think this could open up market share, or rather improve the ecosystem for XRP. If Bird is getting into this, we'll see how successful they are at it, because, you know, a lot of these big companies, they've already kind of hired their guys to do the blockchain thing. Blockchain isn't that new. I think a lot of these companies have caught on. But where I think this will really make a difference is with those smaller companies, those small companies that can't really afford the big cryptographers that can create their own blockchain from scratch. And so it will democratize blockchain in the same way that Wix has democratized making websites. Think about it, folks. There are a lot of companies out there that need blockchain, and Rippleback Bird is looking to provide that service for the masses. Do you think that by doing so, this will improve the XRP ecosystem? I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.